Everyone has a home field advantage, coming to you live from the Pizza Ranch studio. Certainly glad you've tuned in, and as always, brought to you by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Doak Propane, Great Southern Bank, Shelter Insurance, the Bank of Billings, and Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks. The Bank of Billings, established 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County with locations in Billings and Marionville. And to that end, we go to Marionville, and Marionville Comets head football coach Paden Grubbs, kind enough to join us here. And Coach Grubbs, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Coach, first let's just go back to last week. You get that win in that district semifinal over Thayer. Tell us a little bit about that contest and how it went.
Yeah, really good win for our kids and our program. We were fortunate enough to be able to move it to Saturday, so we didn't have to play in the monsoon. Just from a travel perspective between the two teams, we just thought it'd be best if we moved it in regards to the 3-hour trip that they have and taking away any chance of a delay. But our kids came out really ready to go. We had a great week of practice. Dating back to last season, our kids have been working very hard to try to avenge that loss to a good Thayer team in the district championship game last year. And that's something that had been on our kids' mind for a full year now, and has motivated them in the weight room and in preparation. And, we were able to come out and get off to a really strong start last Saturday, and was able to score early and get the lead. And then our defense did a fantastic job of putting their offense in some positions that, we were trying to get them in third and long situations to where they had to throw it. And we were able to do that, capitalize on a few of those throws with some turnovers. And, the offensive line played great. And, we did a good job of taking care of the football. And, I was very pleased with the physicality that we played with last Saturday. And that's just something we'll have to continue moving forward.
Coach, on the season, your defense has played outstanding. You're giving up less than 11 points per contest. Talk a little bit about that defense and what did you have to replace coming into this year due to graduation last year?
Yeah, well, Coach Price and Coach Evans do a fantastic job on the defensive side of the football, Xing and Oing and putting our kids in position to be successful. I believe coming off of last year's team, we were replacing 6 starters. And we had a very good group of seniors last year as well. But we've had a lot of kids step up and step right in and really do a fantastic job. We're starting 2 freshmen on the defensive side of the football this year, which we have not done in my time here. But those 2 freshmen in Briar Guerin and Cash Pomeroy. Briar plays a free safety spot and Cash a linebacker spot. And those 2 have really stepped up and filled in tremendously as freshmen. They're not playing like freshmen, and they really haven't all year. They stepped in and been ready to play right away and have really raised the bar for the other kids at their position levels. And so defensive line's really where the name of the game's at for us. We feel like we're very strong across the defensive line. Coach Evans does a great job on the defensive line. Teaching, coming from his days as an All-American at Evangel. He does a fantastic job with our defensive line. And, they do a great job of keeping guys off our linebackers, and our defensive back positions are doing a much better job the last 4 to 5 weeks of tackling. And then, our kids just do a great job from a coaching standpoint of attacking the football, creating turnovers. You date back to the Central game week 4. We were able to turn them over 4 or 5 times. And if we don't turn them over a few of those times, they're probably going down and scoring on long drives. So, just the kids being resilient and showing a lot of grit and toughness across the defensive side of the football. And they're doing a great job of swarming and getting to the football.
Coach, as you head in here to your 12th game, week 12, it's a district championship. And I know there are bumps and bruises just by virtue of playing 12 games. Other than that, are you relatively healthy going into this contest?
Yeah, we're very blessed in that department right now. We are healthy. We have the guys that we started week 1 with. We still have now going into week 12. And that's a huge key and a huge part to a lot of stuff. Over these last 2 or 3 years of having some success, is we've been fortunate enough to stay healthy. So I think a lot of that just goes back to, though, our kids prepare well. And not only in the weight room, but just taking care of themselves whenever they are dinged. We got good trainers, that are able to help them and do some stuff for them whenever they are feeling dinged. But yeah, we are healthy, and that is a big thing going into week 12.
In week 12, you got the Kabul Bulldogs, who are coming in as a 6th seed, I believe, in your district. And it's a little misleading. Their 4-7 record, being a Class 1 school, playing in that very tough conference there in the SCA. But what do you know about Kabul, and what are you going to have to do to come out on top?
Well, one thing about them is that they're battle tested, like you said, in the SCA. From a physical standpoint, and that's why your Thayers have been so good the last 7 or 8 years and dominating the district in Southwest Missouri in Class 1. Is they're just battle tested. Dealing with the physicality of the SCA and the athletes of Liberty and Mountain Groves. So there's no different really with Kabul this year. They've dealt with it seems like a few injuries that they've made adjustments to now, and I think the biggest thing with them is when you look at their roster, they start a lot of sophomores and juniors, and whenever you do that, you might have some hiccups and some growing pains early in the year, but they're starting to play well, and they have a big offensive line, and they have a couple big backs that are talented and athletic. So it's just once you get to playoff football, they're doing a great job of running the football, and they're playing good enough on the defensive side of the football, tackling right now, that they've been able to make a run here. So they're a very dangerous team because of the size they have up front and the big backs. They have a good. I'm not very good with names, but they have a good junior running back that's probably 220 pounds that runs very, very well and runs behind his shoulder pads very well. So we're going to have to do a fantastic job of tackling and corralling tonight to get to the football and to gang tackle him. So he's definitely going to touch the ball probably 20 to 30 times tonight. That's been the recipe for success the last 3 weeks. So yeah, very, very capable and very dangerous, hot young Kabul team coming in tonight.
And you got 2 like opponents. 4 on the season, but 2 of them right out of your conference with Ash Grove and Sir Coxey. Have you been able to talk with them to see what you might expect?
Yeah, I've talked with them, and then also, we have film, from those games. So, with it being the last 2 weeks, so it's just, again, just going back to we have to tackle. That's the same thing each coach from Sir Coxey and Ash Grove, when I talked to them, said, you have to make sure and get to and tackle. They're 2 good backs, and that's what we've been preaching and working on all week. And our kids are just going to have to do their job on the defensive side of the football and have some courage and be ready to come downhill and tackle. And really, that's going to be the name of the game tonight.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, tell us a little bit, what time do you kick off tonight, and what are your expectations here on the weather?
Kickoff set for 7. I think the weather is going to be just a kind of a crisp fall night. Looking at it, we got the sun shining here now and the wind blowing, so I expect the field conditions to be good with the wind blowing and kind of drying it out. Our field's held up in pretty good shape. We've only had 3 home games this year before these last 2 district home games, so our field's not too tore up. We haven't played in too many wet games. Last week playing on Saturday with the wind blowing, Saturday morning after all that rain came through, the field conditions weren't awful. There was no water standing, so it's just going to be a good football game. You're going to have that great burger smell of burgers being fried up around the concession stand and the fog going across the field from it. And, it's just going to be a nice, crisp night. I expect a little bit of wind, but nothing too crazy according to some weather forecasts we've looked at. So just encourage everybody from Marionville and Kabul and surrounding, if you want to watch some football, to come out to Bill Reedus Field and, expect a good high school football game.
Outstanding. Well, Coach Grubbs, as always, we greatly appreciate your time, and best of luck tonight. And if you get a win, we may text you and try and get you on Friday Night Live on the Scoreboard Show.
Yes, sir. Hopefully that's definitely the case. We'd love to be able to play another week or 2. And go Comets, and thanks for having me.
You bet. You're listening to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Brought to you by Liuna Local 663, Building Missouri and Building Missouri State. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart,